Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So today I am sharing with you how I go about making my very long, very scrappy snippet rolls. And it's a process that uses up all of your fabric scraps. I generally will just sit there, use up everything in my fabric scrap pile until I run out of scraps. I will just use the whole lot. And I make these very long snippet rolls that are ready to be used in your projects. And there's lots of different ways that you can use them once you cut into them. They can be, embellishments on your pages, tags, pockets, journal covers, signature covers. You can decorate belly bands. There's lots of different ways that you can use these. I find them really relaxing to make, but also really quick and speedy. So if you would like to join me at my sewing machine, I'm going to share with you how I go about making one of these. So here we are at my sewing machine. We've got my box of scraps here, and I've also got a jar of little bits and bobs that I might try and use up as part of this. So I'm just getting myself prepped with the first strip of ribbon or fabric. I'm sorry I don't have a light on my sewing machine. And I've just pulled out a few scraps to start us off with, and we're just going to go forward with those for the time being. Okay, so I've got the first two scraps in there ready to go, and as you can see I've just made it so that I've covered this ribbon, so I've got little bits hanging off either side, and I have also switched my machine to a zigzag stitch. I use my 3 setting, which is a further apart stitch, but it is also small zigzag, it's not giant ones. Okay, right. So I'm just going to go forward and do my first sewing. So you might notice here I have this gap, and it's because my needle is over here now on the other side. The good thing about these strips is once I've gone down one side I can go back up the other side. So if I miss any bits like this, because at the end of the day we are using these like small scrappy pieces of fabric, so if there's any gaps we can fill those in afterwards. If you don't want to have any gaps like this, if you don't want to go back on yourself, then you can always put the scraps the other way. So we've got horizontal scraps here so that it covers the whole piece. Just as a quick tip, when you put your next piece of fabric in, it's a good idea to make sure your needle is down in the fabric and you're just lifting the presser foot, sewing machine foot. And the idea is that we can just sort of slip the fabric in like so, pop the needle back down, and then continue the sewing. Another tip for you, don't be afraid to layer fabrics on top of each other. We're not necessarily thinking about what goes with what at this point because we're always going to do more with these snippets when we cut them down later. But as you can see here, I've got this nice wide piece of trim, the rest of this grey lace, and then I've just slipped in a little bit of broderie lace on there. So from the above, that's how it looks. Maybe it will make a nice snippet, maybe it will make a nice cluster, but at this point I'm not really bothered. I just want to use up my scraps and we'll see what it looks like after. Another tip for you, if you've got any pieces like this, which are sort of squarish or rectangular, it can be a nice idea to lay them at an angle like this. So essentially they're coming over the side of my ribbon snippet strip, and that's just going to create a really interesting look. Very staggered, very layered, very interesting. So I'm at the end of my first ribbon. So instead of finishing this off, taking this out of my machine, you can do that, but instead I'm going to make one super long snippet strip. So I'm coming in with the second ribbon and I'm just going to clamp that down with my presser foot, and now I can just put in another piece of fabric and just continue on just like it was all one long strip of ribbon. So I'm back with my finished snippet roll. I think I was probably sat at the sewing machine for about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and a half in total, but I cannot tell you how long this thing is. It's easily something like over a metre, so this is probably even more than that. This is going to keep me busy for a long time. So what I did after showing you the setup was I went all the way down to the end of the snippet roll. I went and went and went until I ran out of ribbons and essentially ran out of scraps. And then, so I did the zigzag stitch down the middle, which is what you saw me doing. And then I did a straight stitch on either side of that. So here and here, you can barely see it, but they're there. All the way down on the other side. So now everything is more or less, you know, really, really in there. And then any bits like this, when I come to use it, will either get chopped off or I can just glue them into place if they get in my way. But essentially, once you have your snippet roll, it's up to you what you do with it at this point. What some people like to do is go through and either sew or glue on little embellishments and different things, such as little charms or card making, scrapbooking supplies, little fabric embellishments. They'll go through and sort of glue or sew buttons, charms, bling, these little fabric things, whatever they can think of, they will go through and do that. I don't make my snippet rolls in that way because, well, it's not my style, but also I prefer to save it up and then chop it down when I'm actually ready to make a bunch of embellishments. So what I do is I actually keep it rolled up like this, and as I said, this will keep me going for a long time. So when I'm ready to make some embellishments, I will just chop probably something like this much off of it. Don't know how much you can see, and that would easily make probably about 5 or 6 cluster embellishments. And then as you can see, I have a whole bunch rest to go. Like I said, it will keep me busy for a while. But what I thought I would mention here is when you are ready to chop into it, which will be the focus of our next video, so look out for the next video if you do want to see how my embellishments turn out. But when you look at your snippet roll, you'll essentially see sections or parts where it makes sense to cut into it, and the more of this you do, the more embellishments you make, the more snippet rolls you make, the more crafting in general that you do, it will become second nature to you where it makes sense to cut. So I'm going to give you some examples. So here's mine. So I have this nice piece here. If I wanted, I could keep that all as one, but what I would likely do is cut above this red bit. So I would have this nice piece. That could go horizontally or vertically, I think. So I generally just do this and just sort of think, do I want it that way, and just sort of get a feel for what I think would look nice. I think it looks quite nice horizontally, so that could decorate a pocket, something like that. It could even become a pocket in itself if I backed it with some card. So I would cut there. The next piece, I would probably keep all of this red piece together like this, and this one I would probably keep vertical. I think I like it sort of scrappy like that. And then once you sort of cut into them, you can start placing things and you can start getting a feel for what you think, you know, looks nice. So not necessarily that butterfly, but you can start sort of having a play around with it. Here we've got this nice green bit, which is sewn like this. And then I've got this sort of scrappy piece down here. I would probably cut it above that, so I would have either this sort of longish vertical piece, or it could go that way. I think it looks better that way if I was to use it horizontally, but I think I'd be more likely to use it vertically, and then it would be a long page decoration, or it could decorate a belly band. It could be the start of a cluster to decorate a journal cover. And then, you know, once you start sort of placing things, I mean, it gets really easy to just start sort of very quickly just going, well, that looks nice. Easiest embellishment ever. You know, these don't have to be fancy. So again, I would probably keep this together like so. So if we consider this piece, so I would have this bit of green there, but if I were to cut at the end of this lace piece, we have this little bit of a funny edge where the green just kind of stops. But when you cut into it, you can decorate around that. So say I had a butterfly, there you are, fixed. It's a really nice cluster. I might turn it the other way because I would probably have this at the top, this at the bottom, but you can see how easily it becomes something once you add the fussy cuts. So that's how I use them. That is how I do it. Works that way too. But that's how I go about doing it. So I don't add anything to this point. I keep it in a roll. Once I'm ready to make some embellishments, essentially once I need to build up some stash of them, I just chop a portion off, enough that I think would make probably 5 or 6 clusters at a time, and then I will just go through and glue fussy cuts onto it. Fussy cuts, labels, words, little things like that to make little collaged pictures. And then as to how you go about using them, lots of ways. You can decorate pockets, decorate pages, decorate tags. They can be the fronts of signature covers or the fronts of your journal covers or folio covers. I've made snippet rolls for the spines of my journals before. Lots and lots of ways that you can use them. You could even hang them from a bowl pin and have them dangling off somewhere if you like that kind of look. But generally I tend to use them for decorating covers and signature covers usually. Sometimes pages. That's usually how I use them because they, they can be quite bulky, but they turn out lovely. And I do find this process really relaxing sitting at my sewing machine because there's no rhyme or reason what scrap went where when I was making it. I was simply just grabbing the next scrap that came up and just fitting it in next. Like it, I didn't think, oh, the green doesn't go with the pink, and nothing like that came up for me. Because I knew that when I was going to cut into it, you start cutting it into pieces. Smaller, bigger, longer, shorter, it really does change. But as you can see, I've got lots and lots to play with. But what I wanted to show you was I did also do this really scrappy piece. So I don't know how I'm going to use this, if I'm being completely honest, because it's not usually my style. But I had all of these threads and like ribbons and stuff and twine. So I just sewed through them. So if that's kind of your style too, if you do more scrappy kind of looks, then you can do stuff like that. I've got some gauze here, so that'll be a really fun textural piece when I come to use it. And as you can see, when I got to the bottom, this is where I started getting scrappier pieces. So for example this, but hey, that will, once it's decorated, will look just fine. I had some gold leaf trim. It just goes on and on. More gold leaf trim. And then I randomly had these leaves in my box. So just whatever was in that box that you saw at the beginning, that is what went on here. So don't overthink it. Just simply sew your scraps into place. And when you're ready, you can start cutting it down and thinking about how you're going to use it and how you're going to decorate it. As I said, that's just how I do it. Lots of people do snippet rolls, so I do recommend that you look for inspiration if you want to try different ways of doing it. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing my process. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about how I do this kind of thing. If you would like to see this turned into some embellishments though, that is the topic for the next video. So somewhere around here will be a next video for you to watch. So I hope you enjoy that, and either way, I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me then, and I'll say goodbye for now.